Good morning, and welcome to Sunday Morning Joy for February 7, 2021. We appear each Sunday morning on the Pride London network. We featured London and area musical artists from the LGBTQ2+ community and our allies. We would love to hear from you. Give us your feedback. Tell us about local artists you'd like to see on the show. Any comments or suggestions you may have for us, contact me, Rod, at pridelondon.ca. Today we have an amazing lineup for you. It's a bit of everything, from classical to musical theater and jazz to pop and rock. We will end the show with an outstanding up-and-coming gay recording artist from this region. You'll want to stay tuned for that. Joyce Toner and Diane Bialek are no strangers to Sunday Morning Joy. They have appeared twice before performing their own original compositions. This beautiful couple performs as the duo Two Souls, and they have made several recordings together. They met at church over 25 years ago, and they've stayed together and now have 5 kids and 7 grandkids between them. Today, they will be performing a cover tune by the Canadian group Blue Rodeo, but I'll let them introduce the piece.
Hi, I'm Diane Violet, and this is Joyce Toner, and we are Two Souls. Welcome to our Campfire Songs. We would like to thank Rod Culham for inviting us to participate in Sunday Morning Joy. And today we're playing for you a cover of one of Blue Rodeo's songs, 5 Days in May. Hope you enjoy it. Shelter
Our next musician is a computer programmer who is an outstanding musician as well. I'm always amazed when I meet a person who has an incredible hidden talent, and Stephen Kim is exactly one of those kind of people. Born and raised in South Korea, he moved to Canada in 2003 with his family. He has a lot of musical training, mainly piano, but some guitar, violin, and saxophone as well. He took lessons up until the end of high school, and then he stopped. But he took up piano again in 2015. He's been mainly self-taught since then. Today, he's playing a Bach fugue for us. Now, anyone who plays the keyboard knows that fugues are some of the more difficult pieces to play. And it's because of the interweaving melodic lines that you have to use. You have to make each one recognizable. Stephen plays this fugue with a complete understanding of that genre. I asked him why he chose a Bach piece to play for us. His reply was, "Bach is one of my favorite composers. I feel as though many of his works are timeless and modern. His pieces are always uplifting, not too emotionally heavy, and easy to listen to." So here he is, Stephen Kim, playing the fugue from Bach's Chromatic Fantasy and Fugue. The next selection will be a performance by Pride Men's Chorus London featuring J Caldwell singing Respect, which was made popular by Aretha Franklin. Jay gave a speech at a community event about his experiences in Pride Men's Chorus. I'm going to read an excerpt of that for you. In July 2016, I first heard Pride Men's Chorus perform when they were pressed into service for the very somber occasion of the Pulse nightclub shooting memorial. I was a 48-year-old intersex trans guy who had just begun medical transitioning in late March of that year and very late in my life. I felt a lack of connection to my body, to my community, and to the world at large after a lifetime of trauma and abuse. But when I heard the swelling refrains of "He ain't heavy, he's my brother," my heart was touched, and it ached to be a part of something so beautiful as this fellowship of souls, creating what could only be described as a comforting musical embrace that made all those around me spontaneously hold hands and feel as if we were one and everything would be okay. It was as if we were hugged with song. It was magical. So after that concert, Jay came up to me and asked if he could join Pride Men's Chorus, and I said, "And what voice range do you sing at?" And he said, "First tenor." And I said, "I need first tenors, so come join us." Now understand that first tenor is the highest voice, and then second tenor, and then we have two bass parts, the baritone and the bass. So he joined in the first tenor section and performed for the concert. And as that concert was, as we were rehearsing for that concert, he said, "My voice is getting lower, but I'll stay in the first tenor section for the concert. Next concert, put me in the second tenor section." I said, "Sure." So the second concert came, and halfway through that rehearsal, he said, "My voice is getting lower. Maybe for next concert, I'll go to the baritone section." I said, "Okay, well, let's get through this concert as a second tenor." So we did, and when we started preparation for the third concert, he went to the baritone section for 10 minutes. I heard a crackle come out of the baritone section, and I just looked up at him and I said, "Jay, go to the bass section." And that's where he's been ever since. It's a little bit like puberty for him. And this is what he has to say about that. "As a trans man, I expected my voice to change, but it was an open question mark as to how much. However, even when the changes were somewhat surprising, drastic, and perhaps even a little problematic, not to mention comedic, the choir stood by and supported my vocal journey with encouragement and kindness." He goes on to say, "It is because of my association with Pride Men's Chorus that I started public speaking and pursuing advocacy for trans and intersex awareness. I credit this wonderful choir for helping me find my voice." Well, when Jay sang Respect, he definitely got respect. I want you to have a listen. Jay Caldwell sings with Pride Men's Chorus London.
Mr. Kid my profits when you come home. Hey, baby, when you come home. Mr. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take out the easy. Little respect. Ooh, yeah, little respect. Keep on trying. Run out of ways. I ain't lying. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Decidedly, one of my favorite jazz musicians in this city is the very talented Brian Gloyd. I'm always mesmerized how he can find an innovative chord or pick out a musical line out of thin air. And I'm a bit jealous, I'll admit. Brian is supposed to be retired, but he spends much of his time filling in at his former job and keeping the books and finances straight at Aeolian Hall. Along with his husband, Clark Bryan, who's the executive director for Aeolian Hall, Brian Gloyd is a driving force behind this organization that provides so much to our musical and social and educational community in London. Today, Brian is playing a piece from the musical State Fair. It's called It Might As Well Be Spring. The music is written by Richard Rogers, and the words, for the record, are written by Oscar Hammerstein II. Brian Gloyd. Our next artist is, quite frankly, an outstanding performer. He's new to me, but will probably not be new to some of our younger viewers, and definitely not to people from the Woodstock area. J Stewart is a recording artist who is a friend of Joyce Toner and Diane Bialek, who you heard at the beginning of the show. Diane taught music to Corey when he was a youth, and she and Joyce have remained friends of his since then, for supporting his entire career. Corey was born and raised in Woodstock. High school wasn't easy for him. He testifies of times when there were cigarettes and even gasoline thrown at him on the streets. But Corey was lucky enough to have an out gay high school teacher who would lend support to him. As a side note here, I'd just like to say to all you LGBTQ2+ educators that you need to know that you can make a huge difference. I felt it was necessary for me to always be out to my students. Corey as well would like the opportunity to be able to reach out to LGBTQ2+ youth and provide some leadership and direction for them. And you can hear much about that in the words of his songs. He studied voice through the Royal Conservatory of Music. He's been a songwriter and student of music since the age of 7 and has received accolades from music festivals across Canada. On the recommendation of Simone Denny, a former member of the Canadian electro band Love Inc., Corey was connected with Juno Award-winning producer Gavin Bradley, and that has launched his recording career. He has performed throughout Canada, the US, the Netherlands, and Austria. An advocate for queer indie music, Corey is a host on Queerantine, an online show which features LGBTQ2+ musical artists. You can see the link on Corey's website. To much fanfare, Corey has just released his album Tove, T-O-V, which you have to listen to. He has received rave reviews, and everyone is saying that each title is outstanding, and I think so too. Do check him out. Find out more about Corey on his website, CoreyJStewart.com. You can also visit him on social media, Instagram and Twitter. Go to @CoreyJStewart, and on Facebook, Corey J. Stewart Music. We'll put that contact information up again at the end of the show. But for now, I've talked too much. Let's hear the guy sing. He will be singing a song called Unhappy, which is on his new album. It speaks about how we could be so less unhappy if we just learn to see ourselves for who we are. I'm sure you'll agree with me that that is a message that would touch the hearts of our youth and, well, all of us. My friends, I'm so very proud to introduce you to J Stewart.
The only thing I don't like is everything. So let's try it again.
Yeah.
I once heard my old man say you'll never get what you want. I once heard my old man say what's good is probably false. And I wondered to myself if the way that he sees is the reason I could be so unhappy. I once heard my mama talk and she was down on herself. I once heard my mama putting down her inner wealth. And I wondered to myself, how could this ever be? How could the woman that I treasure be so unhappy? If only I could live my life without judging me. If only I could like my own originality. If only I could see what everyone sees, perhaps I would be less unhappy. I once was the boy you bullied, was the boy you scarred. I once was the one you called out on the cold schoolyard. And I wondered to myself, how is this happening? How is this still a problem in this century? If only I could live my life without judging me. If only I could like my own originality. If only I could see what everyone sees. yours. If only I could live my life without judging me. If only I could like my own originality. I am unhappy at times, I am insecure. I am unhappy at times, some days I can't find the cure. Can I remind myself again, no matter how hard it seems? Don't take this life for granted, just go after your dreams. If only I could live my life without judging me. If only we could like our own originality. If only we could see what everyone sees. Perhaps we'd all be less unhappy.
Now, wasn't that outstanding? I'm so impressed with that young man. Again, you can reach Corey Stewart on his website, CoreyJStewart.com. You can also visit him on social media. Instagram and Twitter is at Corey J. Stewart, and on Facebook, Corey J. Stewart Music. So that's our show for this week. I hope you are enjoying Sunday Morning Joy. Join us online and in social media. The website for Pride London Network is pridelondonnetwork.com, and you can find us on social media at Pride London Network. We are also looking for new musical talent to be on our show. If you would like to be a part of the show, or you have someone you'd like to recommend, please contact me, Rod Culham. It's rod@pridelondon.ca. And we always will welcome your feedback, your comments, and your suggestions. Thanks for joining us this Sunday on Sunday Morning Joy. We hope to see you next week.